What are the 5 aspects of your personality that's going to be tested in the personality test of civil service exam conducted by UPSC? Number 1, self-awareness. This is the first thing that's going to be tested in you, my dear friends, and tested in greatest detail. Now, you have already given a checklist of how much you have understood yourself in terms of your hobbies, your achievements, your educational attainments, and all of that, my dear friends. Along with the checklist that you have given to your, you've given of yourself to the interview panel to probe, there is going to be further probe of how much you are as a person in terms of having a vision for yourself or the country that you want to represent and all of that, my dear friends. Is that clear? So when it comes to the question of self-awareness, it's not just about ticking off the checklist that you have given there, but also a little more of yourself in terms of how much purposive you think your life is and all of that. Is that clear, my dear friends? That's number 1, self-awareness. Number 2 is behavior. This is something that is very much expected out of anyone who is aspiring to get into a dignified office. Is that clear, my dear friends? Some of us may think, hey, I have known a story where a guy actually walks into the interview with a lungi, and when he was asked on his attire, he answers, what do you expect me to wear in scorching heat of New Delhi? Please, for God's sake, don't get too inspired with this, my dear friends. There is something that is expected out of you to be in congruence with the behavioral norms of the service that you are aspiring to get into, and please do acknowledge and respect it. Please don't ever think, my dear friends, okay, the panelists who are interviewing me are all 50 plus, so they must have old fashioned ideas of how to dress up or how to behave. Sorry, that's wrong. In fact, most of them actually lead a very trendy life in their private sphere, and the best part is they know the difference between private life and public life. They expect you to know as well. Is that clear, my dear friends? And please just do that in terms of your behavior. Conform to the codes of behavioral norms that are, that put you in a safe zone to play further. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you, my dear friends? 3, attitude. Attitude is about how you look at things, how you see through things. Where are you coming from? What's your preferences? What are your priorities? What is the basis of such priorities? All of this UPSC tries to know by probing you through questions, by as it asks you number of questions to understand all of this. It also tries to understand the person behind all these preferences and priorities, the self-image that's standing behind these preferences and priorities. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you, my dear? So attitude is the number 3 thing that's very, very important for your personality, and something that's going to be probed and tested, my dear friends. Number 4, emotional intelligence. Now, what is this? Emotional intelligence is your ability to control your emotions rather than emotions controlling you. Now, I would like to take it a step further. The career that you are aspiring to get into, my dear friends, as you know very well, seeks administrative attention in myriad of ways, right? So as it tests you on number of fronts, my dear friend, there are going to be cases of emotional trigger, emotional outbursts, breakdowns, and all of that, my dear friends. But then what is going to be very, very important is how successful you are going to handle your emotions when it comes to aptly generating administrative responses to however difficult the situations may be. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell? And that's what's going to be tested here in the interview as well, my dear friends. Please understand this. Most of us grow up, my dear friends, with the by building a lens, a sociological lens that is built with the material of our conditioning and programming as we grow up in our life, right? Now, through this lens, as we see things, there are occasions, there are situations which can, stir our emotions, but then It is so very important, my dear friends, to be sorted on that, to be settled on that, to be in completion with it, because UPSC is going to just test you on this, and the test result matters to it a lot. Now, I understand that you are smart. You are not someone who will give away so easily in the interview. Even when you are asked a question of uncomfort, I know you will not outburst, or I know you will not break down, but then the panelists at UPSC, the interview panelists at UPSC are smarter than you. They are sensitive enough to catch even slightest displeasure in your body language, and that's enough for them to have a conversation after you walk out of the room. You know how it will be? Gupta ji, don't you think the boy still has to grow up? Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you, my dear friends? So please do work on your emotional intelligence. It really matters, my dear friends. And number 5, umbrella word I would like to use, knowledge. Now, if you want to be more specific in your understanding of what is knowledge constitutes, I'll put it into 2 parts. Number 1 is obviously issues of contemporary importance in the political sphere, in the economic sphere, in the international space, in the sociological space, and all of that, my dear friends, because from there, you know what UPSC is expecting you to know? Knowledge. That takes us to the second thing, how well you are learning from there. 3 important domain skills that is expected out of an administrator. I call these 3 important domain skills as your technical competence. All right. The 3 important domain skills are, number 1, critical reasoning skills. 2, decision making skills. Number 3, problem solving skills. In fact, if you are able to read a lot of current affairs, and if you are not learning anything for yourself out of these 3 domain skills, then you are not doing justice to the time that you are spending with the newspaper, my dear friends, especially when you have cleared your mains and you've got selected to your interview. I hope I have helped you with 5 most important aspects of your personality that's going to be assessed, my dear friends. And if you want to understand for yourself on any of these 5 aspects, more of where you stand and more of how it can be individuated to you, please feel free to get back to me, my dear friends. My details are there in the description below this video. All right. And in my subsequent videos, I'm going to be elaborating on all these 5 aspects. I'm going to take each aspect and elaborate more on each of them, my dear friends. Stay tuned, okay? And let's catch up in our next video, my dear friends. Thank you.